Hello guys, and welcome to Matt's Beamer. Today I am very proud to actually film my own car, a 2012 F20 BMW 116i. Being an F20 means it's a 5-door model. The 3-door model is known as the F21. This version isn't the current 1 Series. In 2015, BMW gave it a facelift. It also isn't BMW's first hatchback. They had the E602 Touring back in the 70s, the E36 Compact in the 90s, and the E46 Compact in the noughties. After the E46 Compact came the first generation 1 Series, the E81 3-door model and the E87 5-door model. Anyway, back in 2011, BMW started production of the F20 and started selling them in 2012. What makes the 1 Series special compared to its competition is that it's rear-wheel drive. They also do come in all-wheel drive. Unfortunately, the next BMW 1 Series will be front-wheel drive, which is a shame really for us BMW fans. But I understand BMW has to do what it does to survive. Just don't go too crazy against your morals. The engine choice on these cars were great. Some countries offered the 114i, all the way up to the current beast, the M140, depending on your location. Now, I guess that you found this review because you want to see what your car can do, or you're looking to buy one. As this is my own car, I've made some DIY videos on it, and a few more are planned soon. I will show you how to change the brakes and certain service jobs. If you're interested in these kind of videos, please subscribe. Anyway, let's have a look around my car. As I said before, it's a 2012 116i. The colour is Alpine White. Alpine White has been in the BMW colour chart for years. Let's start with the front of the car, which I call the face. First of all, the famous BMW badge sits proudly in place just above the grille. This is the standard pre-faced 1 Series kidney grille, which is chrome around the edges with black vertical slats. The urban models had gloss white slats. Here are the standard lights you get, so no expensive bulbs to change here, and they do the job good enough. Throw some cash at them though and you can have the xenon headlights, which do look very nice. Click the card in the top right hand corner to show you how to change the headlight bulbs. The front bumper is an all-in-one item which includes the grille and badge, and this helps the aerodynamics. It also makes it look modern and easier to repair. Behind this little cover here we have the front towing eye. In the bottom of the bumper we have the front fog lights, which are surrounded by a black plastic housing. I have also made a DIY video on how to change those bulbs too. What I love about the 1 Series is the long bonnet, which looks great when you're driving. It makes you feel like you're driving a bigger car than you are. The 16-inch wheels on this Russian specked BMW are made from steel and are hidden by BMW hubcaps. I will upgrade my wheels at a later date when my tyres need replacing. The tyre size in this car all round are 195/55 R16s. The tyres are Pirelli P1 Centellato run flats. The front brakes in this car are ventilated discs, which I will be changing to padded ones soon. The front suspension is made up of McPherson struts and coils. The modern style beam wipers. The hidden front windscreen jet washers. Here are the standard ring mirrors, both electric and have reverse tilt. They are also half colour coded with black trim. They also house the side indicators. I wish that the BMW 1 Series had heated mirrors as standard. The windows have a slight tint to them, and the window surrounds are black. Under these covers on the roof are holes which allow you to attach the roof racks to the car. The basic door handles, which are colour coded. I was very happy to see that this car has a key slot on the driver's side, ideal if you get a flat battery. The BMW Hofmeister King, which BMW have used for years in their C-plan design. The rear wheels are the same size as the front ones, but the rear disc brakes are solid. The rear suspension is made from the coils and struts. To open the fuel door, all you have to do is press on the door. It also tells you the minimum fuel grade required. There is also a little hole where you can put the fuel cap while you are filling up. To close the door, just press the door back in. The ground clearance on this car is around about the 14cm mark, ideal for Russian roads. Here are the basic dimensions. It has a length of 4,324mm and a width of 1,765mm. The height is 1,421mm, which all seems small, I agree. But look at it next to this E21 going around to the back of this 5-door hatchback. Up on top of the roof we have the shark fin, which on the higher models hides the GSM and telephone antenna. Mine is just for show. There's a little spoiler which houses the third brake light, the heated rear window, the rear wiper. In the centre of the clean debadged tailgate is the BMW logo, which doubles up as the boot release handle. To the right of the number plate is where the rear toe and eye cover is located. I do love the design of the rear taillights, which light up in an L shape like other BMWs from the past. They also look great against the Alpine white paintwork. The exhaust in this car exits from the bottom left hand side of the bumper. Let's have a look inside the car. This is the key, unlock, lock and boot release. If you hold the unlock button, all the windows will roll down. To close them all up, just hold down lock, which is the BMW logo. To open the car, just press on lock and pull the handle. This car does not have the comfort access system. When you enter the BMW's interior, you will see the BMW logo on the door sill. You are also treated by the current style of BMW interior. The upholstery code is BDAT Anthracite Stoff Move, with silver trim splashed all over the place. Along the very back of the dash, we have the air vents for the front windows. Note the little space where the screen would be. At both ends of the dashboard are the air vents for the front side windows. It's also where the passenger airbag is located. Over to the central air vents. Each side is a scroll wheel for opening and closing the vents. Each vent has a chrome accent adjuster which allows you to adjust the air in any direction you want. In the middle you have two buttons. The top one is the hazard switch and the other one unlocks and locks the doors. Now down to the air conditioning. First of all, let's turn on that ignition. This is the base air conditioning unit. The higher models have a digital display. In both top hand corners are their 3-stage heated seats, great for the Russian winters. The rotary knob on the left hand side controls the air distribution throughout the cabin. This button here is for the heated rear window. The fan has 7 speeds, and above the buttons are 7 green lights which highlight the speed of the fan. The knob on the right hand side controls the temperature. The button to the bottom left puts the car into recirculated air mode, and the snowflake is the air conditioning button. Over to the stereo, which looks similar to the old professional radio. I believe this is the standard one when there is no iDrive. At the top left is the audio button. Press this to get the tuner, CD and auxiliary options. The knob on the left hand side is the on button and it also controls the volume. The 2 arrows at the bottom allow you to select the station or tract. The M allows you to select it manually. To the right of the CD slot is the eject button. If you press menu, you will get the menus for the computer, information and configuration. The knob on the right hand side allows you to select and choose the items on the screen. Computer shows you the average speed, fuel consumption, range in the tank and the temperature. The 6 buttons along the bottom allow you to also select the item of whatever is displayed above it. Information, or info, tells you about the tyre pressures, when the service items are due, and the check control, which tells you about any certain faults on the vehicle. Configuration, or settings, allows you to set the time or date, the units for the car, for example, miles per gallon, miles per hour, kilometers per hour, Fahrenheit, Celsius, and the languages of the car. What I love though is my wife's key has different settings saved to it. For example, when she puts her key in, the car will speak to her in Russian, while my key will speak to me in English. Vehicle allows you to change how long the lights stay on, the amount the indicators flash when you lightly press the indicator stalk, and the way the locks behave on the car. I will show you what happens if you press audio. If you press tuner, it puts the car into audio mode. You can also select CD or the auxiliary button, if the system is ready. In the bottom right hand corner of the stereo, you have 3 buttons. One button has a cog on it. This is a shortcut to configurator. The musical note allows you to adjust the car's speaker setup and even the warning gong's volume. The clock just puts you into clock mode. Moving on down, we have an ashtray. This car has the smoker's option fitted, though me or my wife or the person who owned this car before didn't smoke. In front of the ashtray, we have the 12-volt power socket and lighter. This car has 2 deep cup holders, which are a nice size and keep your drinks firmly in place. Here is the gear shift to the car's excellent 8-speed ZF gearbox, which is a dream to use in both manual and normal automatic mode. On the side of the gear shift, you have an unlock button. Use this with your foot on the brake to allow you to shift into your desired position. Up once is neutral, and up again selects reverse. On top of the gear shift is a P, which means park. When in park, if you press forward once hard, it will go straight into reverse. To go into drive, pull back on the stick. When you are in drive, hit the stick to the left, you will enter sports mode. Now you are in sports mode. If you hit the gear shift forward and backwards, it allows you to manually select what gear you want. You will see the gear you are in by looking at the dashboard's central screen. Press P again and the gear shift will return to park mode. To the left of the gear shift are some buttons. The top one is the traction control light. If it is turned off, you will get a notice on your dashboard telling you so. The buttons in front of it controls the drive mode. Sports mode will give the car a much sportier feel. Comfort is the standard mode, and Eco Pro mode. Moving on back, we have where the iDrive scroll wheel would be on models with iDrive. On this car though, is a tiny space where you can put your key. Here is the old style handbrake, which I prefer to the newer electronic type devices you see nowadays. Here is the central armrest, which can slide forwards and backwards. It can also be opened too. It's a great storage space, and there is also the auxiliary port for the sound system. Some cars have telephones hidden in here too. I'll just turn the ignition back on. This is what the driver sees. The steering wheel is nice to hold and is of a very high quality. The power steering on this car is electronic and gives a nice feedback. The button on the left hand side of the steering wheel, called Lim, turns on the limit mode, which limits the top speed, which is great in a city like Moscow where there are so many cameras. The set speed can be altered with the little lever switched next to it. The horn and airbag. On the right hand side are some more buttons. Mode changes you from radio to CD to auxiliary. The scroll wheel adjusts the track and station. The phone would control the phone, and the other button is voice command. These two buttons control the volume of the car stereo. The trim below the horn can be changed to a different colour. The left stalk controls the lights, the indicators. The button on the end controls the onboard computer screen between the dials on the instrument cluster. The right stalk controls the wipers. The button above the ignition switch controls the auto start-stop function. I prefer to turn it off myself. Over to the dials, which are inside a silver ring. The one on the left is the speedo and fuel gauge, and the black button in the bottom left-hand corner resets the trip control. It is also one step closer to getting you into the secret menu. In the centre is the onboard computer. It shows you all things like the car's faults, the mode you're in, miles per gallon, and other cool things. The dial on the right hand side is the rev counter. To the left of the steering wheel is the car's other air vent surrounded by silver trim. Heading on down is the car's light control unit. To the left are the car's front and rear fog light switches. The rotary knob controls the main lights. The first scroll wheel adjusts the aim of the headlights on the road, while the other scroll wheel adjusts how bright the dash lights are. Below the wiper stalk is a symbol of a key. If your car can't seem to sense your key is in the car, hold your key on the symbol and start the car. Hopefully that should work. Over to the door. The materials on the door are great and are soft to touch. The lovely quality door handle. The material used here is also on the seat. The door grabs are in silver plastic, though I'd be worried about scratching them. This little computer console style arrow pad allows you to adjust the mirrors. The switch below it allows you to select which mirror you want to adjust. All the windows on this car are fully automatic up and down. This switch turns the power off to the rear windows. Behind the door grab handle is the car's front door speakers. Also in the door are 3 storage bins. Here is the bonnet release, which has to be pulled twice to release the bonnet. Above the lever is the OBD2 port to connect your diagnostics machine to. The steering wheel position can be altered by pulling this lever down. To lock the wheel back into position, just push the lever back up. Everyone gets a soft close and grab handle. The 2 rear ones get a hook to hang their clothes. The sun visors have both got closing mirrors and a space to keep your paperwork. In the centre is the basic dome light. Here's the car's manual rear view mirror. A twisty knob on the bottom makes the rear view mirror tilt down. Here's the view from the passenger seat. In front of you, you have your airbag, some silver trim, and some air vents. The passenger only gets one window switch to play with. The materials are great though, except for the glove box. Just pull the handle to open it. You will notice that it's not lockable. Inside the glove box isn't big and it isn't small, but it's great for keeping your service records and documents. It is also illuminated. The plastics on the transmission tunnel are hard to the touch. On these seats are 3 adjustable levers. This one adjusts the height of the seat. This one adjusts the backrest tilt. And this one down here allows you to move the seat forwards or backwards. Let's have a look in the back. The plastics on the door feel nice and in keeping with the front ones. which is one area I didn't like on the Golf Mark 7. It felt cheap and plasticky. The doors are similar to the other passenger doors, but the rear ones don't have storage. Up on the roof lining is another dome light to illuminate the rear seats. The back panel of the front seats are plastic, which have been moulded to give you more legroom. I'm 6 foot tall and the front seat is in my position. The knee room is okay, along with the headroom. Here's another view of the dash. In the centre is the rear of the centre console. This is the basic version, so it has an odd storage space. I must say it feels quite cheap. On other cars, you get rear air vents and a 12-volt power socket. On the floor is my iCarsoft BMW diagnostic system tool. Let me know down below in the comments if you want me to do a review on it. The transmission tunnel will take up valuable foot space for the middle passenger, but who cares about that? Please keep rear-wheel drive. The rear seats have 3 headrests and 3 seatbelts. Here are the iOS fix points. The covers are hinged, which stops you losing them. The rear seats fold down in a 60-40 ratio. If you press this button here, it is very easy to fold the rear seats down, and they fold down flat too. These little things allow you to tie down your items in the boot. This red thing disappears when the car's seat is locked properly back into place. Basically, it's a warning device. Let's have a look in the boot. It has a capacity of 360 litres, which is a little bit smaller than the Golf Mark 7's 380 litre boot. Fold down the rear seats though, and the boot size increases to 1,200 litres. The opening is low and wide, which makes it easier to load. Up here are where the rear speakers are located. No crappy holes on the rear parcel shelf. To the left of the boot is where the first aid kit should be, though mine must have been taken out by the previous owner. The warning triangle is located in here too. In the right hand side of the boot is a hole for storage. This green thing here allows you to open the petrol cap from the inside in an emergency situation. Under the floor is the car's battery with the IBS system. No, the car doesn't have irritable bowel syndrome, it's just a special system which monitors your battery. The battery is located in the boot to help with the car's 50-50 rate distribution that BMW are famous for. Behind the battery are some of the car's fuses. The rear parcel shelf is detachable, and these help to close the boot. Let's start up the car. Press in the brake pedal and press the ignition on switch. To open the bonnet, you have to pull this lever here twice. The gong is just telling you that the bonnet is open. Under this bonnet is the N13 engine, known as the Prince. It was made in development with the French group called PSA, also known as Peugeot and Citroën. It is also used in the BMW Mini. This car has a 1.6 16-valve twin-turbo inline-4 direct injection aluminium engine positioned longitudinal to the car's chassis to be rear-wheel drive. It has 134 brake horsepower, 220 Nm of torque at between 1,350 to 4,300 revs. It sends this power to the rear wheels through the ZF 8-speed gearbox, making the car do 0 to 62 in about 9.1 seconds. It also has a top speed of 130 miles an hour and averages about 42 miles per gallon. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe for more content like this. Coming soon is a video on how to change the discs and brake pads, front and back. Cheers.